simple interest graphs. Okay, so we've looked at simple interest formula, I equals PRN. We're going to look at that here, but now we're going to draw a graph. So we're going to interpret and construct simple interest graphs, and they should just be linear graphs, okay? And they will tell us something about the graph. Anyway, construct simple interest graph on a vertical and horizontal axis and plot as if they were on a Cartesian plane. Read results by drawing line towards a straight line. We've done all these skills recently. Let's see if we can apply it to simple interest graphs. Let's go. Here's an example. Okay, so we have $10,000. We should put a dollar sign at 5% per annum. That means per year on a linear graph. First thing I'm going to do is put my simple interest formula. Okay. Now, I've only got two things, so I'm going to rewrite this. Our principal is 10,000, so I'm going to go 10,000 times our interest rate, which is 5. I'm going to put 5 over 100 for this one. And then it goes times n. Now, I can simplify this down by multiplying this with this. You can do the same if you've got the percentage symbol. And if you multiply it together, you should get 500. I'm just going to double check. So I equals 500 and n. And what this is, it makes a line that's in this form. I'm going to write it up here. Y equals mx plus b. But instead of x, we've got n. And b is just 0 because we've got nothing there. If that confuses you, don't worry. Just follow the steps that I've done already. I'm going to rub that out so it's not in your mind. And now I can just put things into this formula. Okay, so I've got n in years and I as interest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute n into this formula here. So when n equals 0, remember, I'm going to use this. I is going to be 500 times whatever n is. And in this case, it's 0. 500 times 0 is just 0. The next one is 1. 500 times 1 is just 500. And then the next one will be 2. So you put 2 in there. So that looks like it's going to be 1,000. And then 3. And hopefully you can see the point that it's going up by 500. Because it's a linear graph. So I'm just going to keep going up by 500. And now I've done my table of values and all I'm going to do is graph this. Okay, so I'm going to graph it here. And instead of x and y, normally we have x here. I'll do it here. X here and y here. Y here. So normally we have x and y. But we have n and I instead, so I'm going to put n here and I here. Now n means years. In this case, it's a measure of time, and in this case, it's a measure of years. So I've got all the way up to 6, so that's what I'm going to label on my graph. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Try to keep it the same distance. 3, 4, 5, 6. If you have grid paper, it will be perfect. So this is the number of years. So I need to make it known. You always have to label your graphs. And on the interest, I'm going to go all the way up to 3,000. So maybe go up by 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,500. Okay, so I'm going to label it. Now you need to make this even, otherwise your graph won't be that linear. So if you have grid paper, it'll be perfect for this. Now I'm just going to plot the points. At 0, it's 0. So that's my first point. I'm going to plot it here, 0. Okay. At 1, it is 500, so I'm going to put that there. At 2, it's 1,000, so I'm going to put that there. Now in reality, now I can just do my line, but I'm going to do all the points. At 4, it's 2,000, so I'm doing my dot there. At 5, it's 2,500, so there. And at 6, it's 3,000. So what I have is a straight line. Now I'm going to use a highlighter just to show. See how it's a straight line there? I need to join it up together. Okay. And this will go on forever. Now I'm going to ask one question, but there's so many questions that you can ask. And I'll say, how many years will it take to get to 3,500? So I've put that on here. So this line can go further that way. So I don't need this here. So I'm going to write my question in. How long for to earn 3,500 interest? All right. Now I've got 3,500 here, so I'm going to put that on the graph there. Now if I go down, I don't have the number there, but it looks like it will be 7 years. So how long will it take? It will take 7. It will take 7 years. All right. So this lesson is exactly like reading off linear graphs once we've got our simple interest graph, and we just whatever the question asks, if it wants you to ask dollar amounts, this is interest in dollars. We've got to make sure we label it. Or if it's asking for a time period, we can just clearly read it off as we can clearly read it off as we look at the graph. All right, so obviously in 4 years you made $2,000. All right, that's the end of that lesson. Peace out.